Hello everyone and welcome to a special episode of Legacy Gaming with Atari Man 71. Before I begin, I'd like to remind everyone to play the games you have. It's great to grow your collection, but remind yourself to play the games you already have from time to time. I'm doing these streams and recordings because I have an extensive collection and I really haven't touched it in almost 15 years. Try not to collect these games like they're trading cards. They were made to be played, so I think you should. I'm playing mine and I'm having a great time. I think it's good for the cartridges too. It keeps the contacts clean and keeps them in working order. I just want to add that if you enjoy retro gaming, or legacy gaming as I'm calling these games, streams and videos of these games, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm very active on all three platforms under the name Atari Man 71. On this episode, I'm going to be playing several PAL cartridges. I've had many of them for over 20 years and never really played them because the picture is terrible, and I will show you that and you'll see it. So it's been a personal quest of mine to find equipment that properly converts the signals so I can play the games. Some of these games are actually unique and only offered in PAL format. So I will add though that, in the past I've played a couple of these games for my stream. I don't know if you've watched all my videos, but there's a little white box that I have that converts PAL to NTSC and back and forth between the two. I've used that, but it does not correct the colors. It corrects the signal, but it does not correct the colors. And so I'm really hoping to correct all of it so I can play the game as it's meant to be played. So I'm going to go over the equipment that I'm going to use to convert the signal tonight. I'll hook it up and then see if I've been successful. I have not tested this equipment all together yet, so we'll see if it works. I will say that I use the NTSC Atari 2600 Junior into my NTSC VCR with a PAL game through the video conversion box, and it did not work. And it didn't see it as a PAL signal, even though my video capture card sees it as a PAL signal. It saw it as an NTSC signal, and it outputted as an NTSC signal. It corrected it like that little white box did, but it didn't correct the colors. And so I'm hesitant to say that this is going to work, but I just have to figure out if there is a chance here. So the first game I'm going to be looking at, and this is just, I'll show you all the cartridges of all the games that I run through my system. So it's just a standard combat cartridge, nothing special, just run-of-the-mill combat. So I'll put that in, turn it on, and you see it's green field, yellow background. If I hit reset, it's blue versus red, green field, yellow barrier. Nothing special to it. So that's how standard combat looks, and we'll see how that looks after I put it through the conversion box. So the next cartridge I have, and this one is a little different. It's combat again, but you see clearly it says PAL in the lower corner of it, and so this game, when you put it in, looks completely different on the NTSC equipment. And this is just through my standard setup. So here you see it's struggling to find the colors, it's struggling to find the pictures, it's flipping between black and white. The AV PAL says that my capture card sees it as a PAL signal, so it's having trouble. It's having trouble properly displaying it. And when I throw it through that little white conversion box, it actually displays the game pretty well. It doesn't really struggle. That flickering goes away. The colors are off, but it actually displays the game. So the next game I'm going to be comparing is Adventure, and that cartridge, there's some colors on there that make it all disappear. But this is just a standard run-of-the-mill Adventure, and this is the cartridge that I actually tested, or not this one, but the other one. So here we see it's a gray field with a purple border and a green letter. Okay, and so I'm just going to reset this, and I'll show you what I found earlier when I played the game. with this conversion box, because I played the PAL version of it to see if I could see any difference, because I'm very familiar with this game. Kill the dragon. Well, you know, I don't need to go through and open the castle. So what I will show you is right here. And remember this field. So when I played this through the video conversion with the NTSC equipment, these walls here were not this purple blue color. They were green. And I was like, whoa, that's off. That's wrong. You know, it looked fine. You know, it was actually playable, but the colors weren't right. And I knew that the colors weren't right. So pay attention to this screen when I have converted everything and I'm playing the PAL version of the game through the PAL equipment. So the next one I have is the PAL version of Adventure. And you see the front of the cartridge doesn't really look any different. God, I'm tilting that the wrong way every time. So the front of it's not any different. It's the end label on this. And there's, if you get a 2600 game with a little P after the name, that designates it as a PAL copy of the game. So I'm going to put that one in and you can see how it looks now. And it's terrible. So again, it's struggling. And I'll reset it. Just see if I could play it a little bit. And you see there, the colors are all off. And so if we go up here, I'm curious. So there's no color here. There's some blues, but it's really not able to generate it. So like I said, when I run this through the PAL equipment, let's see how that looks. So switch back to NTSC. So the next game I'm going to be looking at is, I got this one from Germany. It's Phantom Panzer. Okay. And so this one, I think it's a Bitcorp game is what it says. I don't know if Bitcorp actually put it out, but this game is actually very colorful. The walls in this are multicolored. I think your tank is green. So, and you can barely see your enemies in here. And you can barely see that wall too. Oh, there's a wall there. Somebody shot me. But it's very hard to play this game, you see that. So we'll see. This is definitely just a PAL game as well. So we're going to see if it converts that. I've played that on a couple different conversions. Sometimes the video doesn't sync up properly, but a lot of times it does show something that is playable. So we'll see how that one goes. So the next one I've actually played on my stream before, and I'll have a few of those right now. But this is a funky game I got. I think I got this from a seller in, I want to say Thailand, but it might have been New Zealand or Australia. So this game is called River Raid 2. Okay, this is not the River Raid 2 that I played on my stream for the regular collection, but I did play it in an extra. So here we see it here. It's almost unplayable. You know, the screen flickers. Again, it says PAL signal, but it's really not playable. You know, it's basically a copy, a clone, a hack of River Raid. There aren't any walls, so it's not really a river. It's a giant river. There's clouds that you can't run into, so maybe they're gas clouds. I don't know, but it's strictly a PAL game, and I bought it with this piece of equipment, one of the pieces of equipment, the 2600 Junior that's PAL that I'm going to show you. So the next game I have played on my stream, and I played it with the little white conversion box. It's Tomcat F-14 Flight Simulator. And the thing I remember about this game, when I ran it through that little white box, the water was green. And I tested this game earlier. The water was still green. And that was going through NTSC equipment. The video conversion box saw it as an NTSC signal, so it didn't correct everything. But here you see, it's not playable on NTSC equipment. And the next one I also have played on my stream. It's also by Absolute. And this is Pete Rose Baseball. And I don't know if you remember, but running it through that little white conversion box, the playing field was pink. With no conversion, you still saw that little pink. But this is how it looks. Totally unplayable. This game is hard enough to start with, but then to add in this flickering and things like that, it's very difficult. So, so you see this game, and like I said, the playing field was pink. I tested this one earlier as well. The playing field was still pink, and so that's what caused me. I delayed my stream today, and it made me go and get this other equipment out that I knew I had, that I've been trying. Like I said, I've been trying for a while to get equipment. My first PAL Atari 2600 was a Darth Vader, and I bought it back in early 2000s, like the 2001, 2002 era, and maybe even 2000 or 2001. I think it was before 9/11, because I think that was when I stopped collecting. So I'm going to take that off for now. You see how it looks. It's really not playable in that state, and it, you know, I struggled with it in the past. So we'll see how I do with it now. And the last game I'm going to be playing is an interesting game. Sorry, I'm restacking these so that I maintain the order. It's this game, Skeet Shoot by Apollo. So, yeah, Apollo. When I played this game, and you'll see here, there's no flickering, there's no fluttering, but I was thinking that, so this one, the game colors are off, and I was concerned that maybe it was a PAL game, because you see that the sky is pink, and I played an emulator of this, and the emulator, the sky was blue and the grass was green, but here you see the sky's pink, and if I hit reset, and, if you remember, this game is really touchy. Ugh, I'm terrible. Missed it. And I am in advanced mode right now. Ugh. My only hope is to get one straight ahead. Ugh. I'm not even gonna try. There we go. Hey, I got 1 point. So, but you see the sky is pink here, and I think it's NTSC, because there's not that flickering and fluttering like you see. The video capture card isn't telling me it's a PAL signal, but somehow my colors are off, and it's not only on this 2600, it's on every one I've played. So I'm just going to try running it through the system and see if it does anything. I'm guessing it won't, but it doesn't hurt to try. So I'm going to take a little break right now, and I'm going to hook all this equipment up. But before I do, I'll tell you the equipment I have. So I mentioned that I bought an Atari 2600 Junior that is actually a PAL, and I'll show you that. It says it on the back. It is PAL Atari 2600. So this is actually a PAL console, and I bought it, and it came with that River Raid 2 game. I bought it earlier this year. The next piece of equipment I've used before, and it corrected the picture, but it didn't correct the colors, and I ran it through that white box, and it still didn't correct the colors. So this one is a PAL tuner, but I believe the output might be NTSC now that I think about it. But this is just a standard TV tuner. It tunes in RF signals, and I have one of those, you know, screw-on connectors to connect your Atari to, and then it's got composite output, you know, the video, audio, left and right. And so I'll run it from the 2600 Junior into this box, and then when it comes into this box, I'll tune it into the channel that the 2600 is set to, and then after I tune it, I'm going to run it through this next piece of equipment. This is my newest piece of equipment. So this box here is kind of where the magic happens. And I've been looking for one of these for a month. And the guy that I dealt with, he lied to me, basically, plain and simple. Um, I know that this is a used piece of equipment because when it arrived, half of the cables that were in it were not there, or they were incorrect. The power cord was incorrect. I did not plug it in with the incorrect power cord because the polarity, this is a DC unit. If you push the polarity in backwards, it'll blow it up. So um, I'm happy that I looked at that before I connected it up. Um, he didn't have the one that I ordered off of his website. He's like, oh, it's back ordered, you know, the chip shorted, blah, 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 blah. But I do have an upgraded version, which, you know, it's the more modern version. And I said, okay, well, can you substitute? He goes, well, it's a little more money. Okay, fine. But this was the unit that I was actually looking for. So when he told me this is what it was, I didn't say fine right away. I said, send me the specs of what it does. And he sent me the specs, and it was this piece of equipment, which is what I was originally after. What I was buying was what I thought was an older version of this box, which this may be true that this is an upgrade from the other box. But this box has been discontinued. So it's not available. The warranty is not available. He sold it to me for a new price. Um, if it works, I'm just going to probably leave Sleeping Dogs Lay. But if it does not, I'm definitely going to be returning it. And, you know, but this is the Atlanta CDM 660. So there is, yeah, kind of read that, Atlanta at least. But it's a CDM 660. And you can see here, it takes various input signals. There's CCAM PAL, what is that? PM, PN, N1, and N3. And the outputs are PAL and NTSC. And then the input select is S in or V in. That's actually controlled by a switch on the back. And it's a S video in or a composite video in. And you see there's a switch there. And then there's the output, and then you can switch between PAL and NTSC output. And just for completeness, so this is the power cord. You see that, if you can read that, I don't know, it's not focusing good. It's a center negative plug, and he sent me a center positive plug. So it was a 5 volt, or yeah, 5 volt 2 amp plug, but it was center positive, and this one is center negative. So I got on Amazon and bought a cheap, you know, universal plug that has adapters, and actually the polarity is reversible. So, but I bought it because it was, you can hook it up as center negative. So, it's all good if it works. If it doesn't, it's going right back, because I think I paid about $200 for this thing, which is way too much. If it would have been half that price, I probably would have just, you know, eaten it and said, well, you know, this is my mistake. You know, and he sold it as used or something like that, or secondhand. I'd have been like, yeah, you know, I took a chance and it didn't work. You know, that's how I've accumulated a lot of this other equipment. But he sold it as new, and you know, I won't get into that. So I'm going to take a brief break and hook everything up. It's going to take me a minute because there's a bunch of cables that I have to connect and things like that. And sorry to everybody that's viewing, but I'm just going to put it on commercials, and then when I come back, hopefully everything will be hooked up. I won't be able to check it till I get back. So just stay with me for a couple minutes while I connect this, and I'll play these commercials for your enjoyment. Okay, I'm back. So sorry about that. It took a minute to hook everything up. And if I unmute the video capture card, it plays static. So I'm going to keep that on right now. The one complaint that I have heard about this box is that it does generate noise in the signal, and that may be the case here because I have these pieces of equipment close to one another. It's still scanning to figure out what kind of signal it's getting. So we'll just start right in, and first thing I'm going to do is put in my combat cartridge. And this is an NTSC cartridge in a PAL Atari through a PAL tuner and a conversion. So let's see what it looks like. black and white. Oh, do I have it in black and white? Oof, the colors are definitely off, though. The colors are off. Let's unmute it and see if that static is still there. I'm guessing it's going to be, but we'll see. Huh? No noise. So it's going to hit reset. So we don't have any noise. Holding the joystick. We don't have any sound. Let me. There. It's my HDMI cord as usual. So we have audio, but here the colors for the NTSC in this conversion box are off. Now I'm going to see what it says the signal is. This says it's an NTSC signal. So, sorry, you're going to have to deal with the static. So now we're going to put in my PAL version of Combat into my PAL system through my PAL tuner. That's got noise in the picture. It does have noise in the picture. The colors are not quite the same, but it's a blue and a reddish, you know, it's they're lighter color, but they're close, right? I mean, it's not bad. So that's not a bad compromise. Again, sorry about the static noise here. So now I'm going to put in my regular NTSC Adventure. See how that looks. Okay, so it's a gray field. It's a purple barrier, but it's a little different. And a purple number. Let's see. Oof, the castle is black and white. Guess it can't render yellow in this. So let's see if that now that's a different color, I believe. The dragon definitely was not white before. And this is purple, not the blue that we saw. It was a bluish purple, but it wasn't this purple. This is purple. So that's Adventure, NTSC Adventure. And this is my PAL Adventure cartridge. Okay, so the colors seem a lot more right. It's a green number. It's a purple field. Let's hit reset. Let's see if the castle's yellow or black and white. Ooh, it's orange. So there's a difference. See if the sword is yellow. Nope, it's orange. And your little guy is orange. Green, now that's the same. So yellow seems to be orange in this conversion. Blue, hey! Now we're making some progress. So in combat, we saw that the colors were off a little bit, and here we see the colors are still off a little bit, but that's a yellowish orange. It looks more yellow here in contrast with this blue, but that is very similar to what it is in the NTSC version. Let's see what color the green dragon is. I don't think that was purple before, but it may have been. Green dragon is still green. Black key is still black, so colors are definitely better. This definitely works a lot better than anything I've ever used before. So I'm actually happy so far. Alright, so now we're going to get into the games that I know are PAL. So first I'm going to start off with this Phantom Panzer. And this game, like I said, is very colorful. Oh, it actually mutes it. Okay, so we'll turn this on. Hey! Now I believe those are the correct colors. 5 lives. My audio's messed up again. There we go. I think there's actually other sounds that are supposed to be in this game. Because you can't really see your enemies because they really... Oh yeah, there was one right there. They really match the field. So maybe this is better with the other white box that's high contrast, but because I really can't see the enemies. I mean, I really they're probably there. I see one at the top row. It's kind of purplish and they flicker. That's the problem. No. Sorry, my dog is barking. Okay, so Phantom Panzer. It's decent. So now the one that I played with the white conversion box, River Raid 2, this funky looking cartridge. It's almost like a hand-drawn piece of artwork. Turn that on. Hey, now this is looking good. It's got noise in it, but the colors are looking good. I mean, this is actually very impressive that it's actually correcting stuff. And I'm actually not upset that I spent so much money on this now. So this is a river raid with no river. So there, that's a thing that if you don't shoot it, it gets real dark in the game, I think. This game is actually not bad. Oh no, it's gonna get dark. Oh, I'm running out of fuel. Ugh. So there's really no landmarks here. There's these clouds in this game. But this is definitely a lot more playable in this blue. Ugh. So I think that's game. Oh no. So I think this is the night version, which may not be as good as I've seen. You know, that when I played at night before, it was super dark, and I don't know if that was their intention. Ugh. If you hit those little red dots, I think, yeah. And these jets, they're just so stupid fast. It's crazy. So that's River Raid 2, the unauthorized version. You know, the colors switched there partway through, but I think that was on purpose. So I'm gonna put that one aside. I'm pretty happy about that. Now this next one, I played this for my stream, and it's Tomcat F-14 Flight Simulator. You know, at the time I bought this, I paid almost nothing, and I bought it from Australia, and it's because I saw some NTSC versions, and it was just ridiculous. And this is back in early 2000. People wanted $50 for this thing, so I'll put this in, turn it on. Oof, it's not getting the colors. There it goes. There it goes. So when I played it for my stream, I ran it through that little white box, and that little white box turned the ocean green. And it's something that really kind of bugged me. And really when I played this game was really when I said, I got to get something that corrects the colors. Because these colors are just, they're wrong. And I don't want to, I want to play these games how they were meant to be played. So I'm going to reset this. Just play it a little bit. So the guy's going to come out. It's refueling me. And once the fuel gets up to a certain level, now the guy comes out and he tells me throttle up. So I'm going to throttle up. And it's 220% you need to get to. Or 215 or 216. And you got to immediately pull up. So you saw there that the sky changed to a weird color. And then you got to get over a certain altitude. I think it's 5,000 or something. So we'll just pull back and go up fast. And you can break the sound barrier. But you burn fuel real fast. And I'm not going to go through all the stuff, but you can select different missiles and stuff like that. Actually, I will select. There, I broke the. So here's the armaments. I guess I can't select those yet. So now I'm in this section. Okay, so I want to throttle down, and then I want to pitch down. Yeah, the water's blue. So this game is actually a really good simulator. The guys that made Space Shuttle, actually the brothers that made Space Shuttle, it was actually one brother made Space Shuttle, but he was called in to help on this one. That's why you use the select switch to call in your armaments and stuff like that. So let's see. That's a missile. So I'm dead. So then it gives you a rank is 0. That's terrible. And then your kills and your times things you fired, and it doesn't give you your deaths, but I fired one missile and didn't hit anything. Oh, I didn't pull up my landing gear. I didn't pull up the hook back. Man, I didn't. This game is very complicated, but it looks great, and I'm very happy about that. So I'll pull that out. Sorry about the static noise. So the next game I have is Pete Rose Baseball. And I played this on my stream as well with a little white conversion box. And I don't know if you recall, but it was a pink playing field, which really bothered me. So I'm going to plug that in and turn it on. Green grass. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. This box was worth every penny, and I'm not going to complain anymore that the guy kind of cheated me and did whatever, because it works. It's what I wanted. I paid a little more for it than I wanted to, but this looks amazing compared to what I was able to do before. And, you know, it makes it so that I can collect more PAL cartridges. I actually have about 60 PAL cartridges, and about 25 of them are unique games or games that I don't have them in NTSC. But 25 of them, I don't think there's an NTSC version. So it makes it so I can stream those as well. So I'm going to be playing those at some point, probably after I've gone through everything else. So I'm not going to play this game because I suck at this game, but at least that's a validation that the color confirmation works. So the last game I have here is Skeet Sheep, and this is the one that, even though it shows up as NTSC and plays just fine, I was curious what it would do in this color conversion box, because the colors in the game are all wrong. So let's see. It's even worse. This guy's kind of blue, but it's struggling with it. It's really struggling with it. I don't know if it's any more playable. The game doesn't flicker or anything. That's good. Yeah, I got a point again. It doesn't flicker, but the grass isn't green, and the sky, half of the sky is blue. I guess it's a lot of clouds, you know, a lot of fog today. So anyway, I think this is a successful test, and I really am kind of happy that I finally found something that enables me to play these PAL video games that I have. Because like I said, I've got 60 of them. Pretty much 25 of them are unique. And so it started, I think the first PAL game I bought was Xenophobe, because I couldn't find it under NTSC. And I'm like, well, at least with this way I'll have it. And so I can at least play it from time to time. But yeah, but I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, I can't explain it. I'm going to put something back that looks a little better. I'll put the Pete Rose Baseball. I'm so excited about that. Because that one, the grass was pink. I mean, it was just completely a distraction. And it takes a second. And then now it's going to go black and white for a second, right? turn it off and back. There we go. So I'm super amped that this actually works the way that it's supposed to. And unfortunately, this piece of equipment doesn't exist anymore. You can't buy it. And I just got lucky. I was searching for a month, and it's at Atlanta CDM 660. But it makes these games like that combined with the tuner box. The tuner box you can buy on Amazon, and that's like $100. And then you can get a PAL Atari. You know, they really don't sell that much because people are like, well, I can't use it, but evidently you can, and you can run a PAL system into NTSC equipment, and because I think, well, I don't know if I guess you can run it and convert it, and play the games, and play these games that maybe you otherwise couldn't. And I think the screen is a little shrunk here, but that's okay for me because I'm playing it on a computer screen. I can stretch it as big as I want. So I know it was kind of short today, but that's my stream. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you found this all as interesting as I do. Converting these games has been a passion of mine, and I'm really happy that I finally found something that enables me to play these games in the correct way, and they look the way that they're supposed to look, so it's not a distraction. So I plan on streaming my PAL games, like I said, at some point. I have almost 60, probably 25 of them are games you won't find an NTSC copy in my collection. I don't have an NTSC copy of Pete Rose or Tomcat. So I'm gonna be streaming most of my PAL games. I'm gonna play these games and stream them at some point here as part of my collection. So I'd like to remind everyone that even though we may be through the worst part of the pandemic, I want you to be healthy and stay safe. I still think it's a good idea to wash your hands and social distance. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch me play these games and look at these games today and look at this equipment today. So I stream on Twitch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday under the name AtariMan71. The videos from the stream are then released on YouTube on Monday through Friday of the following week. I am going to take a couple weeks off streaming because I'm swamped from work. At least streaming this scheduled Atari stuff. I might play a couple games here and there, but I'm going to limit the time that I spend playing video games because I'm swamped at work and I need to do a little catch up there. So I'm also going to try to work on some videos behind the scenes. I'm not going to be streaming. I'm just going to create videos and put them out there on YouTube. So I'll be back in a couple weeks live streaming. Thank you again, and have a great day.